Yes, yes, yes. I am finally bringing the topic of time management to Layinka Speaks. I have lost count how many times I've been asked, begged to talk about time management and all things related to time management, such as procrastination, getting things done, being organized with time, using time wisely, not wasting time, etc., etc. All of that stuff, right? All of that stuff that's tied in with time management. And I see people going out, buying the planners, buying the journals, taking time management courses, putting things in their calendar, telling themselves, yeah, this is the week. Yeah, this is the day. And still getting the same results. And it's always something curious for me to observe as someone who is considered to be disorganized and not very organized at all. And I kind of say that with a pinch of salt because I'm not always disorganized, but I can tell you what is happening for me and is probably happening for you when you aren't using time to to the best that you could be. And that's really the fact and the truth that time management isn't about managing time at all. Time management is actually an emotion-based issue more than about time. So, when you procrastinate, right? And you know what procrastination is when you have something to do, you have a goal to meet, you have a task to get done, place to be, whatever it might be, and you voluntarily delay. You voluntarily put it off. You voluntarily make a choice to do something else and to do everything and anything except the very thing that you should be doing, right? And procrastination, really, when I talk about procrastination and I break down procrastination in the simplest of terms, is really an attempt to avoid something. That's what it is. And that avoidance, you think, oh, you're really avoiding the essay, or you're really avoiding doing the shopping, or you're really avoiding doing that research, or you're really avoiding going there. You're not avoiding the thing. Essentially, you are avoiding the feelings connected, associated, perceived about that thing. Yeah, let that land for a second. So when you're putting off doing that essay, when you're putting off, researching for that talk you're going to do, when you're putting off washing the dishes or whatever it might be that you procrastinate, it's not the thing itself that you're avoiding. It's this associated meanings and feelings with that thing. So let's say you have a to-do list the length of your arm. Yeah, one of those ones. You've got a to-do list the length of your arm and you actively avoid doing most of the things on that to-do list. In fact, maybe you even avoid that to-do list like you're avoiding the plague. Yeah? Now, you would think that you're just avoiding doing the things. So you go off and watch Netflix, or you go off and, rearrange your room, or you go off and do something else. It's possible and probable that you are avoiding overwhelm. And I'm speaking as someone who knows exactly what that's about. I know that when I'm avoiding something that requires a lot of me, whether that's emotionally, mentally, physically, I know that I'm avoiding a feeling, and often it's overwhelm, thinking that it's going to be too much. So I avoid the feeling, and it's the feeling of overwhelm that I'm aiming to avoid, not the things. I have associated overwhelm with those things, and that's why I avoid the things in order to avoid that feeling of overwhelm. For instance, another example you could have is maybe you're avoiding applying for a job, putting a job application in. All right. Now, it's not the job that you're avoiding because Lord knows that you need the money. right? It's not the job that you are avoiding. You're avoiding possibly the feeling of rejection for not getting the job, or a feeling of failure for not getting the job. Yes, girl. It is not the thing that you're aiming to avoid. It is the associated meanings, associated beliefs, and associated feelings with that thing. And that's why I always say that time management, especially around procrastination, has got nothing, nothing to do with managing your time. It's about managing, getting curious about, getting clear on the emotions, the feelings, the beliefs that are associated. Okay. Now, this is all well and good, right? Now your mind is kind of blown. You're like, oh my goodness, this is the truth. This is what's been going on for me. You're in this position right now where you can see all of the things that you've avoided, all of the things that you've been wasting time with, right? All the ways that you have not been managing your time. There is a positive intention. Yes. I know that wasting time, not managing your time, procrastinating isn't necessarily positive, but there's definitely a positive intention in that you don't want to feel bad, right? Your body, your brain wants you to be in the space of feeling okay and not having to be in overwhelm or deal with rejection or deal with feelings of failure or XYZ. Now, I would say, and I do say that even with that concept that time management is really about emotional management and emotional intelligence and getting clear and understanding what's, going on, the beliefs that you've associated and all of that deep stuff that I like to think of, right? I've been told I think too deep, but I think that's not necessarily true, right? All of that even is still surface compared to something even deeper than that. And that's where I really like to dig into. That's where I really like to get curious, right? So going back to my example about avoiding a long to-do list and wanting to avoid overwhelm, if I were to peel the layer of that, so that is deep. Yeah, that's deeper than just procrastination. That's deep. But even deeper than that is the feeling, the thought that I may have about myself, the beliefs that I may have about myself and my capabilities to do that thing and to ace that thing and to do it very well. Maybe even beliefs around enoughness, good enoughness. I don't even know if that's a term, but let's roll with that, okay? Good enoughness. And that being actually the very thing that I'm trying to avoid, that I'm aiming to avoid through procrastination. Now, just sit with that. That's the core, the root of the procrastination itself. So when we're talking about time management, dude, girlfriend, it's not even about time. It's about something that's deep at its core. And the things that you are avoiding, that you want to avoid triggering, that you want to avoid feeling, that you want to avoid facing within yourself. And that is even more than and deeper than emotions. And that is exactly where I'm taking the ladies in our Homecoming Collective in our masterclass on time management myths. So if you want in and you want to actually get deep, you want to understand, you want to do some digging, and with all our masterclasses, we do some growth work. So you best believe it's about taking action, and we're not out about having more information out here. Definitely consider joining us at the Homecoming Collective, because your time management may seem like it's just about managing emotions, but I can guarantee that it's deeper than that even. And when you get to the core, the symptoms disappear. And that's the deep transformative work that we're all about. So definitely go to layinkasani.com/homecoming and come and join us in the Homecoming Collective for the monthly masterclasses that we have, and this particular month's masterclass on time management, so that you can finally get to the root of how and why you're struggling to manage and make best use of your time.